YouTube, back again with another review here in the Movie Zone. Star Wars continues here, so I get to talk about Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. That's my personal favorite. One of the second Star Wars in the original trilogy. Actually, like I said, by far one of the best films ever made. It's also one of the best sequels. Now, a lot of things have happened since Episode 4 leading up to this one. So if you remember in the last movie, Empire basically lost the battle here. And now they want revenge. They want to come back stronger and go after the rebels who destroyed the first Death Star. Because I'm pretty sure that thing costs money to repace and rebuild. So, now you have Darth Vader and his whole gang of Empire and the Stormtroopers. And they go to find the planet where the rebels are hiding. Now they go to a planet called Hoth. And one of the best battle scenes I've ever seen in a movie, in any kind of way. It's a war kind of scene where you have the Empire, they come out of nowhere and they have these big, massive, tank-looking things, but they call ATAs, and they're big robot, like dogs kind of, and they shoot at them, and they finally find their base, and the rebels have to band together, and Han, Leia, and of course Luke are all in trouble due to the fact that they have got these, and the Empire basically right up their front door, knocking on them and saying, "We're coming to take you out." And then the big battle happens here in the beginning. Now this is a big battle scene that happened basically, in the beginning of the movie. Not right away, but it builds up to it. And then when it happens, and it's a great scene. You have the rebels coming together for the first time. You see a lot of rebels who are hiding come out of their hiding spot, and they go after the Empire. They're not afraid. They're like, "We're tired of getting pushed around by the Empire. We're gonna go fight them. If we have to die, we're gonna go take them out with us." So I think that was a great plus. I mean, you had Han Solo and Leia there, and you know what? They had to get out of there because they kind of knew that Darth Vader was coming, and Darth Vader was coming for them. He was going after the rebels who basically destroyed the first Death Star and ruined his plans. Now you have Luke Skywalker here, and I forgot to mention this in my first review, Episode 4, about Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan had a fight with Darth Vader in that movie, and he lost. Now, him dying is not a bad thing, because if you're a Jedi and you die, you become a Force Ghost, and a Force Ghost basically is more powerful than ever. So basically, Luke has no idea what he's supposed to do, how he's supposed to train and continue his journey to become a Jedi. So what Obi-Wan tells him, in his mind, and tells him, go to this planet called the Dagobah system. Now he goes there to find a person, a Jedi Master, basically known as Yoda. Now when he gets there, it's a swamp place, so it's all dark and cold and slimy in a way. He finds Yoda, but he doesn't really know it's Yoda right away. And to me, when they created Yoda for the second movie, Episode 5, it was all puppetry. It was a puppet, but yep, it was awesome. He felt real. He felt like if you watch like the Gremlins, those movies, that was puppets too. And they really worked on him, and I really liked how they made it too. But yeah, Yoda worked, and he was funny too. Yeah, there was a funny part here where he's fighting, he's looking through Luke's stuff, and he finds like a flashlight, and he's arguing with R2-D2, and it's hilarious. One of my favorite scenes ever. But yeah, he basically shows him like, oh, he's not worth my time. I can't train him. He senses that Luke is like stubborn, arrogant, and doesn't really follow direction properly. And Yoda is telling that to Luke and talking to Obi-Wan at the same time, because he can talk to Force Ghosts. And Luke is telling him, "Hey, listen, I can do this. Train me. I will learn. Don't worry about it." So he does that, and you know what? He has to go through a lot, but when he learns, and he has to learn it quickly, because while he's doing that, Han Solo and his friend and the rest of the team basically go to this planet called Cloud City, and they meet a person named Lando Calrissian, played by Billy Dee Williams, and dude's awesome, dude's smooth, he's, cool at the same time, but yet you don't know if he's bad or good, but you'll see what I mean when you watch the movie. But yeah, basically they go there, and it's like one of those planets that, like, that's peaceful. It looks like they got a lot of resources here, but you know what? They live in the clouds, so that's why it's called Cloud City. But so they get there, and what happens? There's a surprise waiting for them because Darth Vader is there, so waiting for them there, and Han Solo feels that he's been betrayed by one of his closest friends, where he won the Millennium Falcon from in a poker game. So now that Darth Vader has got Luke's friends trapped, he has an idea to basically plan a trap for Luke. Now Luke starts to sense this, and he's like, listen, I need to take a break from my training, I need to go do this, I need to go save my friends. So Yoda's like warning him, listen, you're not ready to face Lord Vader, he's way more powerful to you, you can either die or you will fall to the dark side. And Luke is like, don't worry, I'll be fine, I'll come back, I got this. And like I said, this is by far is my favorite movie because it tells a story, it continues the story, really quickly. It doesn't have to go backtrack and explain things that happened in the original movie, so that way you can understand what's going on in this movie. Nope, it just continues off where it left off, and it's a quick pace, but it's a good pace at the same time. It's not fast, it's not slow, it's right down the middle, and it's great. Then you get to the scene where when you get to the scene with Luke, and he finally confronts Vader, and they go at it, and you see Vader, he's toying with him, but you know what, he's trying to get him to convince him to come to the dark side, because now he knows that he was the son of Anakin Skywalker, and the Emperor, who before, you see him as a hologram, he tells him early on in the movie, listen, you either gotta kill this guy, or you gotta make him one of us, because he can be a threat to us. So Vader's toying with him right now, and they go back and forth and have their big lightsaber fights. And then, of course, you get to the scene. Like I said, this is spoilers, so if you haven't seen this movie, you might want to cover your ears, because what happens next? Luke gets his hand chopped off, and then Vader tells him that he is indeed Luke's father. He says it in such a way like even I didn't see it coming when I first saw the movie. When I was young, I think I was like maybe 6, 7. I don't remember how old I was when I first saw the movie. He says, "I'm your father," and then I was like, "What?" And then you understand the prequels when you watch it. But yeah, I was like, "Wow, what a twist! What a great way to tell somebody bad news when you're in a bad situation already." I mean, he really stuck it to him, honestly. He just chopped his hand off, and he made it even worse by telling him, like, yo, dude, I'm your father, by the way. You can join me or die. Pick one, you know what I mean? You should choose me because I'm your father. But I guess Luke is like, no way, I can't believe this, and he just falls off. And then, of course, he gets saved by, Lando and Princess Leia. Now, Han's not with them because before Luke got to the Cloud City, they had this machine where they tested a machine that turns, you basically freeze, what they call carbonite, and they froze Han Solo. Now they took Han Solo and he gave him to the bounty hunter named Boba Fett. Now I'll get to him, Boba Fett. If you remember my previous videos, I was talking about Jango Fett, how that was basically the beginning of him, and but you don't know who he is. He's just a bounty hunter. He first comes in, he's wearing his helmet, he's got his gun. You don't even know anything about him. There's no backstory to him, there's anything. But he was so cool because he was just like Vader, mysterious, you know what I mean? And that's a good thing. Some secrets should not be told, you know what I mean? Like, you want to be surprised about this character. And, Boba Fett, he hardly ever do anything. But just him being there was just awesome. And if you read the comic books before that, or the books, you read a little about him and then you're like, oh my god, this guy's awesome. As a this is why you root for the bad guys, because honestly, they got the cool bad guys. You got the Emperor, you got Darth Vader, you got Boba Fett, who else? Darth Maul, if you want to count him. Count Dooku, like I do, but yeah, the dark side rules, right? Empire is the best. So now that Han Solo's in Carbonite, he's been taken to a gangster at Tatooine known as Jabba the Hutt. And we'll get to him in the next movie, but like I said, you're going to find out what happens to him. So now that Luke knows the truth, now he's got to go back and try to figure out what's he going to do. Now, does he go back to Yoda to try to finish his training? We'll have to wait and see to find out. Like I said, I really enjoyed this movie because of the pacing of the movie. The acting in this movie is great, again, by Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, and of course, Mark Hamill, all returned. They all came back, and they were even better as they were in number 4. Number 4, they were just getting used to those characters, getting comfortable. And now that they're in number 5, they're having more fun, and I really like that a lot. So for this movie, I'm giving it a 10 because honestly, like I said, this is my favorite Star Wars movie so far. I mean, number 7 blew me away too, but I really love this movie. I really have no that much negative about it, except for maybe, if I had to think about it, I guess the only negative I will have is that I wish they explained certain characters, like maybe Boba Fett a little bit more in the movie, because when you first see him, he's just there, but then, you know what, I can forgive it a little bit, because, you kind of, you know what, I take it back. You can't, either way, you don't get any information about him in the next one anyway. But yeah, he was just there. I wish they kind of give us a little backstory about him. But you know what, if you're just a movie fan and you just watch that movie, because, I didn't know anything about the books or the comic books before I saw the movie. I was just a young kid. I didn't really know. But yeah, I think that this movie, that's like the only little minor thing here that I didn't like. I mean, because when you first see Boba Fett, he's just there. He just pops out of nowhere, and he's just there. He's a bounty hunter because Darth Vader mentions it, and then that's pretty much it. You don't know anything about his backstory, why is he there, who paid him off, or whatever, but he just does a job, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's pretty much what I have for it, a minor thing. But like I said, I love Episode 5. Empire Strikes Back, I think, is the best sequel to, like, any movie besides maybe The Godfather Part 2. But yeah, to me, personally, I think Episode 5 is awesome. From the villain perspective of the movie to Luke's perspective of the movie, it just works. So, let me know in the comments down below if you've seen this one, and if you're going to see it or not. Have I changed your mind about watching this movie? Maybe you didn't think about watching this movie before. So leave a comment, let me know. Let's talk about this. And of course, stay tuned for my final Star Wars movie, which will be Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Probably up today, tomorrow. I'll probably have to figure that out. So thank you, and have a good day.